There are a ton of reasons why you're considering living in the Salt Lake City area or making that move here to Salt Lake City, Utah. And so in this video, I'm going to share with you the top 10 reasons why you may not want to move to Salt Lake City, Utah. And I'm getting after it right now. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Greg Spackman. I'm with the Living in Salt Lake City channel. If you want to learn everything about what it's like living here, eating here, sleeping here, playing here, and the Salt Lake City area, then click the subscribe button and the bell to be notified every time I do new videos. Lately, I've been getting a ton of people that are calling me, texting me, emailing me about making that move here, and I absolutely love it. So if that's you, please reach out to me. So the 10 reasons why you may not want to move to Salt Lake City, Utah. Number 10 is there is no gambling here or state-run lottery. While that may not be a big issue for you, it sort of sucks to not have the lottery where I keep seeing the big Powerballs where they were over $1 billion and not being able to buy tickets. You have to go elsewhere to get them. One of the times we were going to Las Vegas, me and my sons, for like a little getaway, and we thought we could buy tickets in Las Vegas. Well, you can't buy them either in Las Vegas. You needed to buy them in Mesquite, Arizona, which is along the way to Las Vegas down I-15. And while we got into Vegas, stopped somewhere, found a little truck stop, thought this might be a good spot to buy our ticket. Well, they don't sell it, and we found out you had to go to Arizona. So just that, for example, there's no gambling. I thought they might have card houses or, some sort of place where I could go play Texas Hold'em, since I'm pretty good at that and it's fun to play, but they don't have anything like that here. You are going to be going either to Wendover, Nevada, which is the closest place to go gamble, and that's about an hour and 45 minutes west out I-80, or you're going to be going up into Idaho to Boise or one of the other cities where they have the casinos. So just know that you're going to have to go there, or Las Vegas, of course, which is my favorite place to go, but that's a further drive than either of the other two options. So that's number 10. The number 9 reason that you may not want to move to the Salt Lake City area, or this may be one of the reasons why you want to move here, would be our weather. And we have all 4 seasons. We have a true summer where it gets nice and hot. It's super nice. I actually like the summer the best here. It means I can go do all my outdoor activities from hiking and fishing, boating, camping, everything I wanted to go do in the outdoors, and it's nice and warm, and I don't feel like it's extreme heat like living in Phoenix would be, where it's 125. It'll be in the low hundreds here, or high 90s through the summer. It's fall time. You're going to absolutely love fall here in Utah. I think most people really like fall. The changing of the leaves is incredible. There's lots of different drives. You can go see different types of leaves, I guess. Some golden ones that are super cool, and then the multicolored leaves. Just, it's super cool to go do. We've done it every year except this year. So next year we'll go do it again. We wanted to take this year off. So that's super cool to go do. Wintertime, we get snow, we get rain. This year, a ton of rain, more rain than snow, it feels like. It was raining for like just a massive amount of rain. Not what I'm used to in Nashville, where it would rain, 5, 6, 7 inches. It just felt like it was raining a lot here this year. We did get some snow. We've gotten a few different snowstorms, but nothing where it caused any sort of issue at all this year as far as driving conditions go. And one thing super cool about Salt Lake is they have the right equipment. All the plows and salting and everything else they do is awesome. One of the things that I've done after the first winter here was we went and bought salt. So Walmart will run a sale typically before wintertime, like in the fall, where they'll have a big thing of salt out, and it's like $5 or so a bag, and that'll last me all wintertime. And then I just go salt our steps and around the different part of the driveway, and then the back steps for Archie to be able to go out to the bathroom. So that's cool. Spring, you're going to really enjoy the way the spring is here because you're tired of it being cold and snowy and wet over the wintertime. So spring is amazing. It's starting to get warm again, and I am looking forward to spring again this year, since it's been cold for a while, and I much prefer warmer weather than the cold. And then, of course, we already talked about summer. The number 8 thing that may make you not want to move here to Salt Lake City is our poor air quality. And while The first 2 years I think we were here, the air quality was much worse. I would get some alerts about high air or high numbers for the air quality. This year, I don't remember seeing anything come up on my phone unless I disabled something that let you know. But I believe the air quality was pretty good this year. And that could have been from all the snow we had last year, possibly, or just it was a good year for air quality. But we have something called the inversion layer that happens here where November through March area where the warm air gets trapped by cold air and it causes kind of like a smog type of look or feel to the air. And so that causes poor air quality. So if you do have some sort of breathing issues, you might want to consult your doctor about living here in the Salt Lake City area. But we haven't seen it be that bad here where it's caused any sort of issue for us or anyone else we've helped move here. So take that for what it's worth. The number 7 thing that may make you not want to move here to Salt Lake City is our poor drivers. And the Utah drivers are some of the worst that I've had anywhere in the nation. And other people will argue, comment below if you have poor drivers and what some of the things that they do. But lately, we have been noticing that they run red lights at a extreme amount. You will see 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 100 cars go through a red light and the cop is nowhere to be found, and they don't seem to pull anyone over for running red lights. They just let them do it. I'm waiting until I see a cop actually run the red light because that would be super interesting to see. But red lights, I let my kids know that are driving here that they need to wait that half a second or second after the light changes before they go. You know, they like to just stomp on it and go once the light turns green. Well, they're going to end up in an accident if they do that because of all the people running red lights here. Speeding, you're going to notice that people drive very, very fast on the freeways here. Typically, it's only on I-15 for the most part. I don't really see it when I'm on Mountain View Corridor or Bangerter where they're driving in like an excess speed. But on the freeway, 100% when they're on that. So just be aware of that. And you're going to see people do changing of lanes in an erratic fashion, or they're not going to look, or they just come over into your lane like they got this and you're going to move out of the way. So that's something that happens as well. And then the last thing that I've been noticing more and more, and this could have happened my whole life, but I don't remember it, is that drivers will just drive up on you on the freeway and they'll sit behind you until you move over. And I feel like I think I figured out what it is, and I think it's people with the auto cruise control, and they just set it to 100 and then set behind you, and then they just let the car go up, and then they don't have to put their foot on the gas, and it'll just ride behind them a certain distance or behind you a certain distance until you move over, and then it speeds up because they do the same thing to the next person. So I think that's what they're doing. I don't have any proof of it, but it would make sense. The number 6 thing that you might not like living here, and that's how the streets are named and numbered. So they have this weird street naming, numbering convention, grid system where, you know, it's 10,600 is the off ramp. Well, for me, it's much harder to remember that. And it was really difficult for the first year, I think, here, where it didn't make any sense. Now it makes a lot more sense on what the numbers mean and where things are in relation to where you are. So just know that it's based on the temple or the different temples, and it resets based on certain temples. But it just gives you a grid system so that if you know what's at 10,600 and 4,000 east, for instance, and then I tell you that it's 3,000 east, you know that it's this far over on the east side, and it gives you a good idea. For the most part, I still will mention, like I've always given directions, or if you asked me where something was and I knew where it was, I'd be like, oh, it's by the Best Buy. It's like, 2 streets over from that. For whatever reason, I like using buildings or something else as a frame of reference for where things are. The number 5 thing that you might not like or may not want to move here would be the lack of a nightlife and not a huge bar scene here in the Salt Lake City area. And it makes sense why it's not a big deal based on the LDS faith having such a huge foothold in the population here of why we don't have all the bars and stuff. But you would think with half of the people not being and then only 30% being active, that we would have a bigger bar and nightlife scene here. So it's probably ripe for people to come in and open, cool bars here that would get people to come to them. But who knows? Maybe there's not enough. And there are some weird regulation rules with bars based on what food they sell, what liquor license they have to get. And I found a little bit more out every time I go to some sort of place like that, either to eat or grab a beer, that they have different rules, and I like to find out what they are here. The number 4 reason that you might not want to move to Utah, or this could be a big reason why you want to move here, is Utah's still a very conservative state, still a red state, still votes very, very Republican here for the most part. Other than Salt Lake City, where it's about 50-50 split, every other county, as far as I know, other than Moab, and I believe Moab is probably the same 50-50. Everywhere else is really, really Republican or really, really conservative in nature. So that may be a reason you want to move here, or it may be a reason that you don't want to move here. It shouldn't be a reason why you don't want to move here, because you're going to find your like people, find people who are into whatever you're into, and you're going to be able to take advantage of all the cool things that are here in Utah, especially everything you get to do in the outdoors. The number 3 reason that you might not want to move here is the housing affordability factor. And since 2020, I would say everywhere across the nation, home values, home prices, rent prices, everything is skyrocketed. But the average home price here is right around $530,000 to purchase a home. Yes, you can do less than that. There are some areas where homes are less expensive than that, but that's your general rule. You're going to be spending somewhere around the $530,000 mark on a home. Most likely, if you want a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home that's somewhat newer and you want to be in the Salt Lake County area, you're going to be in the right around the 600,000 mark, 625 to get a home that's really nice. And you can definitely spend more than that. Most of the people that we're helping are spending in the 650 to 850 range on a home. And then we have some people that are spending $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. So it just depends on what city you want to live in, what your budget is, where you're going to be working, what things you like to do for fun. Do you want to be, 25 minutes from the ski resort, or do you want to be 45 minutes from the ski resorts or the mountains? You got to talk to us about that. And we really like helping you, kind of make that move here, because when we first moved here, we moved to Riverton first, and then now we live in Harriman. And so you're going to find that different cities offer different things, and we can definitely help you with that, since we've pretty much been all over the greater Salt Lake area helping people move and show homes, and just being in different communities to know what you're looking for, whether you want new construction or not, that sort of thing. The number 2 thing that may make you not want to move here to Utah, or it could be a reason why you want to move here again, would be our alcohol rules. And we have the strictest DUI limit, 0.05, which I think is less than a drink an hour, or somewhere around a drink an hour at most you're going to be able to do. So if you don't drink at all, then alcohol rules won't matter at all. And you can, just hang in there while I finish this. But the different bars and restaurants have different rules. For instance, when we go to Chili's, if you want to sit in the bar area, they have the bar, so it looks like you would make drinks there, but they don't actually make drinks there. They make them around the corner, because they have to be a certain distance away from the minors in order to make mixed drinks or serve alcohol. So they chose to do it around the corner. They used to have something called the Iron Curtain here. That went away. Used to have to get a club membership to go to bars, and that went away. So there has been some movement in that path. You can buy beer and some of the hard seltzers at the gas stations and grocery stores. However, anything above, I think 5%, you're going to be going to the state-run liquor stores only to buy that stuff. So that's just something you should be aware of if alcohol is a big deal. You can't buy it on Sundays or holidays, so you're going to need to buy it ahead of time as well. And the number 1 reason that you might not want to move to the Salt Lake City area is the distance to other major cities. So depending upon where you live, if you're used to having, big cities, when I lived in California, it wasn't that far to Los Angeles, even though it'd take you an hour to drive there. If you drove at night, it was only 30 minutes. But just depending. And then you had San Diego that I could go to down south. That was roughly an hour away. But you have big cities, and then other areas in the country are going to have big cities, Dallas, and then you got Fort Worth right next to it. And then you got, Houston and San Antonio that you could drive to, or Austin. So that sort of thing you have. Here we have the next closest town really is 5 hours away, and that's Las Vegas. So you can pretty much get all the shopping needs you need in Las Vegas, any sort of high end stores. Otherwise, you could drive up to Boise potentially for shopping. And then you also have Denver, which is about 7.5, 8 hour drive away. We haven't done that yet. So we're going to do that this summer, and I'll report back on how that drive is out to Denver. And then you're about 11 hours, 12 hours, 13 hours to Los Angeles, depending upon which day. Highly recommend you don't drive to California on a Sunday. That's the worst day of the week to travel there, since everyone is coming back from Vegas and it takes you forever. So do not do it on a Sunday if at all possible. So if these 10 things make you still want to move here to Salt Lake City or want more information, please reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. Love to talk to you about making your move here, help you move to the area, whether it's in Salt Lake City or Provo or Park City, whatever city you're looking for. I've got your back if you're moving here. So until next time, be rad.